Hi, this is Diani, the founder of Vigor Me Wellness Center, and I couldn't be more honored to be here with Patrick Durkin, a world structured water expert that I was fortunate to find as I was studying about structured water, and I am just so pleased to actually have him in my facility now. So hi, Patrick.
Hey, Diani.
Hey, so I'm curious, what are the three findings that scientists have found out about water?
It's a great question, and one that I was delighted to find as I did my research. And one of the first places that I went was to the Hidden Messages in Water from Dr. Emoto. And what Dr. Emoto taught us is that water is a living being. And he did this by using a flash freezing process with water crystals. And he would expose water to different words and different sounds, and the water would react differently. So Dr. Emoto taught us that water is alive. And there's a lot of discoveries going on right now, but two more that are really important. One came from the University of Washington, the head of their bioengineering department. His name is Dr. Gerald Pollack. And what Dr. Pollack discovered is easy water, or exclusion zone water. And this is a type of water that has different properties than ordinary water, like what comes out of taps or bottled water. Easy water is known because it acts like a battery. It stores energy in the water. And of course, if we store energy in the water and we put energized water into our cells, we become more energized. He's also let us know that water is not just H2O. There's more to water than that. Water comes as H3O2, it comes as OH minus, and many, many different configurations. So there's a lot more going on in the living water molecule than most people know. And that dovetails into the third thing I'll share with you now, which is about discoveries that are happening with DNA science. There's a lot of research happening right now with DNA. And what people are finding is that our lives aren't quite as fixed as they thought they were. There were actually some Russian scientists who subjected water with fish in it to some electromagnetic frequencies. The energy waves carried a message to change the fish, and the next generation of fish experienced different physical and behavioral characteristics. So as we want to create vitality for ourselves, the path to doing that is consuming, immersing, being in water that is energized and vital.
Okay, Patrick, that was great. Would you tell me what is structured water and why is it so important?
Sure. Well, structured water is water that is organized or ordered in a particular way. It actually turns out that at Vigor Me, when you are sharing your salt room therapies with people and helping people to find their health and well-being with electronic technologies and with color, light, and sound, you are helping people structure water. We can help people structure water by praying over the water. We're structuring water all the time. In fact, you and I are structuring water right now just by creating a harmonious environment to talk about water and honor it with our intentions. So what I've discovered is there are a million ways of structuring waters, or an infinite number, millions of ways. And the two that make the biggest difference are when water is structured with sacred geometry and vortexing. Those are the two things that have to be present in a technology for me to be interested in it. And the why behind that is because sacred geometry is the language of creation. It's the language that creation uses to create. And vortexing is an infinite spin. It's like an amplifier. So we take creation energy and an infinite spin, and we bring them together in water, and then we put that into our cells. And when you start putting infinite energy in yourself, much like the type of experiences we have when we go really into nature and we get further away from cell phones and different electric technologies, we start to set the stage for our bodies to be the natural sources of health and well-being and joy that they are. So what I've experienced in talking to people all over the world about structured water, people like yourself who are really knowledgeable about medicine, about health, about well-being, is that there are as many different benefits as there are people. And Some of the ones that are more notable are that people find that their physical body functions better. That can get noticed at first with, say, moist skin where they used to be dry, or it's not a very good example for me, but some people say that their hair feels thicker and fuller. It's a good thing people tell me that, because I wouldn't have discovered that on my own. Their digestion is better. They have more energy. One guy, right after he got a structured water device, he said he went from sleeping 7 hours a night to 5 hours a night. And when I checked in with him over the years, he said that continued. His life just completely changed because he was on a new energy source. So when you change the energy source for your body and you make it structured water, you're realigning yourself with nature. And when you're realigned with nature, anything is possible. So there are people who attribute healing from cancer to structured water. There are people who attribute changes in diabetes, in their blood pressure, and all sorts of different things that they've had experiences with structured water.
So, Patrick, when you talk about water being changed and going through the vortex and the sacred geometry, does it actually physically change the molecule? Is that what you're talking about?
It does, yeah. There's a way that hydrogen and oxygen bond together, and we think it's just H2O and it's fixed, but we can point back to Dr. Pollack's work at the University of Washington and find out that water's changing all the time. These hydrogen bond angles, which are 104 to 108 degrees in ordinary water, change to over 114 degrees. And what that does is as different as taking carbon and making coal from it or making a diamond from it. It's completely different water. I like to think of it as a way to communicate it as structured water is like liquid diamonds.
Very cool, Patrick. Thanks for sharing that.
You're welcome.